Good morning and welcome to Shallow Farm. You come in here and you just prop your feet up. You have probably already had about 8 hours and you've only been up an hour. I so understand that. I'm so grateful that you have visited with me today. And I love when we get together and share the Word of God. I love our connection. I love our fellowship. I am so thankful for the encouragement and the support. I thank you for your prayers. I thank you for the finances that you support us with at Shallow Farm Ministry. And I'm just so grateful that God has invited each one of us to walk this journey together. I have learned in this process that you cannot walk it by yourself. And speaking of process, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about our journey. We're going to talk about the process in order to get to the final results of our journey. And you know what? Sometimes that's not easy. When God spoke to my heart the first of the year, He said that I'm going to do something new in you. I'm going to raise you up and take you to a higher elevation. Well, the thing is that we hit 2023 in January so hard financially, I could hardly put gas in my car. And then He spoke and said, I'm going to carry you into the churches. And I said, God, I don't want to go back into the churches because I knew that it was a very difficult thing after COVID. And then God began to work in me and to start going back to do videos. And I have seen that I have gone back into the churches and I have opportunity to go and speak into the churches. But we also saw where God began to use technology, and I'm reaching people more now every day than I ever could possibly reach if I was to get my Sunday school shoes on and walk into the door. Also, we had my second book sitting on the shelf for about 2.5 years. And so the first of the year, we got the manuscripts. It was immediately published. And so we have our second book. The first one, was Listen in Silence Before Me. And then we have the second one that has just come out. And you can get both of them on Amazon. But listen, come by, see me, and get them at the farm so I can give you a big hug. And you probably need to hug me. But it is saying, come closer and listen. And these are the things that God is speaking to us, is that we got to take time to listen to Him, and we got to come closer. That means we got to do something. That's a process. And so when God spoke to me and said that, He was going to do new, and the book came out, and then technology started carrying me different places, and then the new YouTube channel, and, new opportunities that was arising and meeting new people, I realized that I was not ready for a new devil. Hey, you understand what I'm talking about? And so when God carries you, you've heard this so many times. Them preachers preach that. When you go to a new level, there's a new devil. And you laugh at that and scoff at that. And hey, there's some truth to that. But, it's a process. God does not tell us the whole story when He speaks into our life and says He wants to do new. Oh, you don't have to be a preacher to get new. You don't have to be some praise and worship leader to get new. You can get new from God because that's what He speaks in His Word, and that's what He promises. I'm going to give you new. So what does it mean when He says, I'm going to do something for you, something's fixing to change, you're going to have a turnaround and a turnabout? Well, what does that mean? Well, it has to be a process. I want to read you the definition of process. It's an ongoing or in progress, something that's marked. It's a high event. It's something going on by gradual changes that lead us to a particular result. It means action, it means development, and it means growth. But the biblical meaning of it is, it's a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. An example for that. When David was out in the fields and he was looking after the sheep, and a lion came and a bear came, he took care of that, and that was no problem. He did not know, though, that was the process. Being on the backside in a field with the sheep and facing the lion and bear would prepare him, develop him, allow him to grow to meet Goliath. And when he went and met Goliath, you would think that he had an almighty warrior suit on, the biggest sword in the whole wide world, but he went with a slingshot and stones. I mean, if he had been told, now your process is that you've killed the lion and bear, but you're going to now go to Goliath, and you're only going with a slingshot, he probably wouldn't have gone. But he went in faith and he walked it out day by day. When he was called to be king, he was anointed. And we know the story that, Samuel went to the house and he went through all the brothers, and he says, all these brothers aren't the ones, so where is he? And they said, he's just a little old shepherd boy. But he was anointed as king. Had he known the whole story, he probably wouldn't have never put that crown on, because he didn't know he would be running for his life from Saul and hiding in a cave. Neither did he know that in the process of becoming a king, that he would fall into sin and have to fall into the hands of a merciful God. But there was still repercussions. He lost his son in death, and then later you found out that another son tried to kill him. And take his kingdom. It was just, if he'd have known the whole story, he would not have done it. How about you? In your process, when God tells you he's going to do something for your family, when he says, I'm going to do something in your finances, and he says, I'm going to do something in your church, and I'm going to do something in your community, and I'm going to do something personally for you, guess what? You don't know that there's going to be a process to help develop you and to cause you to grow and to come to a very final end that is great. It's great, but in the meantime, you don't know what's in the process. And if he was to tell you, what would you do? You'd walk out. You'd say, no, this isn't for me. It is not for me. When God promotes, when he elevates you to a new place, you didn't get there by sitting on the front porch in your rocking chair, drinking sweet tea with lemon. It is a time of development. It's a time that you are saying yes to God and less to you. And so I just want you to know that I don't want you to not realize that in the middle of that process, God graces you. He covers you. He prevents you. And you come out victorious on the other side. And God uses you mightily for purpose. For purpose. And so the process, it has to come. But how rewarding it is to know that when you get on the other side, guess what? You pass the test. And that's something that you don't think that you're going to do when you start the journey, is pass the test. But you do. And the greatest thing that you could ever hear is that he rewards you and he says, well done, well done, well done. You did it. You did it. Hey, you have a wonderful day. And I just want to let you know that I love you guys. I want to thank you for standing with me in the good and standing with me also in the bad. Thank you so much. God bless you.